Wanna watch this video right here. Friend of the stream, Ray's been going crazy, by the way. He's really next up for real. No cap.
The NBA season.
No numbers been looking straight for my guy. Uploaded this video, the 2016 NBA season, in 16 minutes. Let's reminisce when times were good, chat. How about that, right? Let's reminisce when times were good.
Nostalgia. Nothing's better than reminiscing on the past and having a wonderful time going through memory lane. And if you want to reflect on great times in the past, many have decided that the single best year to revisit for that is 2016, and that life will never peak again that hard. And to people that say that, I say, holy shit, man, that was more than half a decade ago. Please lock in. If you keep talking about 2016, you might as well wear a shirt that says, yeah, I peaked in high school. Sorry, I just got a little passionate about that topic. But TBH, people aren't wrong in saying that 2016 was a great year, because as from games to TV shows, internet culture, and music, it was one of the best and most exciting years. Oh, and it also had the best NBA season we've ever seen. So without further ado, let me stop waffling and get to the damn season. To set the storyline for the 2016 NBA season, we have to mention how the 2015 season ended first, which was with the Warriors ring. Although this ring was pretty Mickey Mouse, if I do say so myself, because after coming back to Cleveland, LeBron was without his two co-stars in the finals, with that being Kyrie and Kevin Love, because they were both injured. So 2016 was going to be focused on LeBron trying to get his get back and finally bring a ring to Cleveland after actually having a supporting cast that weren't paraplegics. Now, going back to the Warriors, they had different plans, as they were single-handedly changing basketball after Curry won its first MVP in 2015 and had arguably the most versatile defender in the league with Draymond, not to mention probably also having the second best shooter in the league in Klay Thompson. Now, one last thing to start before the actual season. We have Kobe posting this sweet poem about his love for basketball and his eventual retirement from it at the end of the season, posted to the Players Tribune. This is definitely the most important thing to be posted in the Players Tribune in the 2015-16 season. Anyways, let's get to the next chapter of this video and head into the actual season, October and November to start with, to see what happened in these first few months. For my previous minutes video, I separated the months into 3 different categories, that being the drama for the month, the moves for the month, and the records for the month. But this time around, I think I'm going to just combine everything. So, the top records at the end of November in the Western Conference is... Hold up. The Warriors haven't lost a single game 20 games in. Man, I forgot how insane the 2015-16 Warriors were. They definitely won it all.
Bro, that team was so special, man. I ain't gonna lie. Is it crazy for me to say that Curry leading that team to a 73-9 is more impressive than some NBA championships? Is that crazy for me to say, bro? No, because that 73-9 is crazy, man. And I'm not trying to throw shots at a specific player or anything, but bro, 73-9, leading your team to that record, to be that dominant for how long does the season go for? October, November, December, January, February, March, April. To be that dominant for a 7-month stretch, to only lose 9 games in that 82-game season, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, after this crazy start, didn't they? Anyways, the Spurs hold the second place spot in the Western Conference with a record of 14-4, as Kawhi and LaMarcus Aldridge carry this aging dynasty, really out here looking like the Master Splinter picture from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then, in third place, we got the Thunder at 11-7. Now, that rounds out the important records, so let's talk about other interesting records, and then go out east. I feel like Houston at 7-11 is important because James Harden really needed a chiropractor this early on in his Rocket days because, man, he was dead dropping 30 a night with damn near no assistance. He was carrying this team.
Look at
the other important
Harden,
thing is the sorry ass Lakers being at 2-15. Oh my god, I miss these days. This team was so atrocious back in the day. Their top player was Kobe Bryant. He had 1 functional legs. His Achilles was blown out, and he was still the best player. Bring these days back, man. I'm tired of hearing how the Lakers are gonna somehow win it all every year and how they're the best team in the league. Like, let it go, man. It's over. Now, the final team I gotta talk about in the West is the Kings, because holy shit, they suck. Sorry, they sucked a lot during this time in, like, basketball period.
Team. I
just had to find a reason to mention them. And now, onto the East. At the top of the East, we have none other than my glorious, succulent, sweet, super handsome king, LeBron Raymond James, and the Cavaliers at 13-4, with the Pacers not far behind them. Man, Paul George was really like that. I mean, he still is, but Like, get on that damn court, buddy, because back in the day, he used to get on that court every day, and he used to perform. I miss you. Please play consistently. You and Kawhi. Finally, rounding out the top in the East, we have the Bulls. Bulls Jimmy Butler feels so long ago. Like, this is really insane looking back on 2016. Like, this is really that long ago. Now, for the miscellaneous teams in the East that I want to talk about, I want to bring up the 76ers because this was the peak of the process in the Sam Hinkie era, and the 76ers started off 0-18 this year, which is straight insanity. Like, if this shit happened today, Adam Silver might get a heart attack or even grow his hair back.
Bro, they went 0-18? I forgot about that, bro. How ass you gotta be to 18 games straight, bro? What the fuck?
Because of the absolute tanking that was going on in this organization. Now, other than that, I don't think there's much to bring up. So let's move on to December, which is great because December is a lot more exciting in my humble opinion. One reason being, the Warriors actually lost a damn game. Yeah, this God Squad lost to the Greek Freak before he was showing us that he was really that guy. He also was on the come up back then, but this is where he showed that he was really going to show out. Now, the Warriors, before this tragic loss in their season, were only 24-0. So it was really devastating to see this. Like, they could have at least went 30-0, you know what I'm saying? Now, since I'm a Kings meat writer, I'm going to show a core memory I have from this season, which is when Omri Caspi went toe-to-toe with Stephen Curry in a three-point duel. And if you don't believe me, just look at this footage.
Damn, he ain't lying. Omri Caspi's talking that shit now.
2 straight minutes of them taking and making threes back and forth. Absolute cinema. There's no reason why the greatest shooter in the league should be competing with Stephen Curry. Also, DeMarcus Cousins dropped 55 points in a game this month, which was a season high for 2016 until somebody breaks it. Now to the standings at the top of the West. Obviously, the Warriors again are going to be at the top at 30-2, followed by Spurs 28-6.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest, chat. I remember watching this season, and I always kept an eye out for the Spurs, right? Like the Spurs, oh my God, their record's crazy. Everyone was hyping them up. But I always looked at the Thunder as the true second best team in the West. And everything that happened in the playoffs really confirmed my beliefs back then. But I was like, man, Paul Print cool, Tim Duncan cool. Roll out that ball and let Russell Westbrook and KD handle those. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bruh. Shout out to the 2016 Thunder. And I was a Warriors fan back then too, but when the Thunder went up 3-1 and how Russ and KD had Oklahoma City Thunder rolling, man, I couldn't help but like enjoy that fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of crazy. That was aura back then. And then OKC blew a 3-1 lead, but
6, and the last of the top 3 is again the Thunder at 23-10. Now, for a team I want to talk about in the West, is Clippers, because man, I miss Lob City. This was such a fun team. I don't even have no troll shit to say like I usually do because this team was just that exciting. Now let's head out east again because we have the Cavs at the top. Then they're followed by the greatest big four in NBA history on the Atlanta Hawks, who have Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, and Al Flippin' Horford. A team of all time. Then rounding out the top 3 in the East, we have none other than my favorite city besides Sacramento, being Toronto and the Raptors. Such a great accent, man. Now, the only other team I want to talk about is the Washington Wizards because fuck, man. I miss prime John Wall. He was dropping 20 points and 10 assists a night. People forgot that he was really like that before the injury. Anyways, I think it's time to...
Back when 20 and 10 meant something too. You know what I'm saying? Like 20 and 10 used to be the barometer of like, yo, that's a crazy point guard. Because why is that point guard scoring and assisting at a high rate? Nowadays, I'm not saying it's still not impressive, but like seeing a guy like DG put up 18 and 9.6 or 8.9, and all respect to DG, it was just different back then. You know what I'm saying? But DG is still like the 8th best point guard in the league or something. 20 and 10 was... one skeezy in the chat. 20 and 10 is kind of You weren't around back then, bro. 20 and 10 was the barometer of like a crazy point guard. Barometer of a crazy point guard. Chris Paul doing that shit. Darren Williams doing that shit. Because mind you, back then, a crazy scoring point guard was still like 17, 18 a game. For a point guard to be scoring 17 to 18 a game was like damn near unheard of, or at the very least like rare back then. You know what I'm saying? Like scoring 18 a game was reserved for the Steve Nashes of the world, Chris Paul even. But to see someone put 20 and 10, I don't know. Oh, you're saying that's in now? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To sum up records at the All-Star break, and then recap the greatest All-Star weekend I've ever witnessed in my life. The 2016 three-point contest truly spoke to me just how unfair this year's Warriors team was, and in all honesty, how unfair the late 2010s Warriors were in general. Klay Thompson won the three-point contest against Stephen Curry. The two finalists were on the same team. Oh, and guess who won the three-point contest the year before in 2015? It was Stephen Curry. And guess who he won against? Klay Thompson. Two best shooters in the league on one team. It's unfathomable. Now, we move on to the dunk contest. This was a time where the NBA community as a collective was actively getting bored of the dunk contest, and the discourse surrounding it was pretty bad. Not only because we kept seeing the same dunk ideas over and over again, but because every big name dunked the contest. I mean, they still do it today, but like, in 2015, we had Mason Plumlee in a dunk contest. But 2016, it was going to be different, because every dunk from Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon was insanity, especially this one. Great heaven.
But you know what's crazy? I think leading up to this All-Star game, these guys weren't even like considered upcoming stars. To be honest with you, like there were good players in the league, but Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine's development after the fact was actually like an overachievement like crazy. I don't know. There was just something different about this year. I do remember going into Zach LaVine's draft. I was high on him because I seen them highlights from UCLA, and I knew he had bounce. So I had hype for him going into his dunk contest because of that. I don't think it was because like, yo, these are star players playing in the draft. You know what I'm saying? I remember them just being dunker dudes. Yeah.
He is sitting on the air about 10 feet in the sky. Like, come on. It was very close, but LaVine ended up coming out on top. And personally, I think he deserved it for this dunk contest. And
I'm going to be honest, I didn't know AG had what AG had in him back then, too. I'm going to keep it a bean. Especially with how creative he was that dunk contest. I didn't know he had that in him.
2019 was a different story. Someone needs to put Wade on Alcatraz for giving Aaron Gordon a 9. Anyways, on to the All-Star game. Since it was Kobe's final season, he got a Mickey Mouse All-Star appearance, but it was good to see anyways. Now, to be honest, like most All-Star games, other than wholesome moments and cool dunks, this All-Star game was boring as hell like all the other ones.
But
damn, it is nostalgic to see this LeBron and Kobe moment where LeBron slaps the floor. It will always be memorable for me. And not to mention this interview. This shit will always make me smile, man. I swear. Just take a look.
No, just trying to see him just trying to dunk on me. He gonna lay it up at the end.
Hey, rest in peace, Craig Sager, too, man. Rest in peace, Craig Sager.
In all honesty, this All-Star game just had a really cool collection of players that really encapsulate the time frame in which it was in the NBA for me. But I think it's time to move on. Now, surprisingly, unlike recent years, this trade deadline in 2016 was nothing to write home about. The most important thing to happen this trade deadline was Channing Frye went to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, now to go to the end of the season, and more specifically, the final games of it. There are a lot of times in life where we have to make decisions that are tough. None, though, were tougher than this night. Which game do I watch? Should I watch the Lakers and Jazz or the Warriors and Grizzlies?
Now, be honest with me, chat. If you were watching the NBA back then, which did you watch? Which did you watch? Be honest with me. You had a chance to watch history be made or Kobe Bryant's last game. Which one did you watch? Lakers. Bro, you know what's crazy, chat? I think what happened when I tried to watch this game was but I think I fell asleep in the second quarter. Right? I woke up and the game's still on. Right? So I was like, oh, okay, I just took a quick little nap. So I'm watching the game. Okay, the game's still on. The game's still on. Mind you, I used to have the cable box. I know a lot of people don't even have cable boxes anymore. The cable box had the time on it. I looked down real quick and I noticed I was watching the rerun of the Laker game. So I had to trick my mind to just think. I had to trick my mind. I had to go off my phone just to watch the game like it was live. You know what I'm saying? So I personally still experienced it live, and I'ma still count it because in my head, time was frozen until the game fucking ended. Right? But nah. I remember crying during that game, though. I remember crying during that game because I was like, man, that's the Mamba, bruh. That's the Mamba, man. That's his last game when he dropped 60. That was poetic right there, man. What's a cable box? Oh, brother. Nah, man, I cried. I cried, bruh. Yeah, that's my favorite player of all time. Is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. What a career. You know what I'm saying?
Kobe's final game, or seeing the Warriors break or tie the 72-10 Bulls record. Me personally, I chose Kobe's final game, and there has not been one day where I regretted my decision. In the beginning, it was really bad. Kobe was missing all of his shots, but he started to heat up, and the game went down to the wire. With 2 minutes left to go, the Lakers were down by 10. And remember, for the Jazz, this game decided whether or not they could make the playoffs. And for the Lakers, it didn't mean shit, to be honest. But guess what?
No, I think what happened during this game was it was supposed to be the game that decided if they were going to go to the playoffs. But I think the Pelicans or the other team that they were competing against for the tiebreaker won right before the game started. So everyone knew the Jazz was just fucking, like they were just playing around this game. I think that's what happened.
Kobe couldn't care less. He was out there dying to get this win. He looked so exhausted at the end of this game, but regardless, he pushed through and kept on scoring. Every play of this game at the end gives me the chills, man. All capped off with a win from the Lakers and a speech to Staples at the end, and simply Mamba out as Kobe's final words to the arena that has supported him and loved him for 20 straight years. This was absolute cinema. R.I.P. Kobe, man. You know, growing up, I never really liked the Lakers that much, but the same hatred that I held for the Lakers, I did not hold for Kobe. He'll forever be one of the main reasons why I love basketball, and his personality and his career, it's just so inspiring. Then for the Warriors and Grizzlies game, yeah, the Warriors won and became the greatest regular season team in history. And that's all I really gotta say. You see how I made the right decision? I just had a feeling that Kobe game was gonna be special, man. Now, finally, here are the records at the end of the regular season for the West. And here are the records for the East. We're getting on to the playoffs. Starting out West, we have two very uninteresting series. We had the Golden State Warriors beating Houston in 5 games. Nice try, James Harden. And we had the San Antonio Spurs straight up sweeping Memphis. And yeah, sorry, Zach Randolph. Then we have Oklahoma City beating Dallas in 5 games. Dirk Nowitzki was getting kind of old. And finally, we had the most exciting series.
Look at Baby Dame. Look at Baby Dame and Baby Austin Rivers, right?
Portland upsetting the LA Clippers. Okay, going out east, Cleveland beat Detroit in 4 games, the most uneventful series.
Yeah.
Then we had Toronto barely beating Indiana in 7 games. I'm telling you that.
Yo, shout out to McBuffin for the gifted, man. And we got the 10 today. That was the original sub goal, so I appreciate y'all, man. This series was crazy. Paul George was really trying to solo squad out here, man.
Paul George was a dog, still is a dog, will forever be a dog. He took the 2nd seed to 7 games. Then we have another 7-game series, Charlotte and Miami. Dwayne Wade was getting a little old, but he still barely came out on top against Kemba Walker. This was a great series. And finally, we got Atlanta beating Boston in 6 games. I don't remember much of this series, if I'm going to be honest. It was one of the more forgettable ones. Now it's time to do a quick, brief award show intermission. Stephen Curry went back-to-back for MVP this season and was the first ever unanimous MVP. Crazy. The season he had this year was spectacular. Kawhi Leonard won DPOY, and Rookie of the Year went to Karl Anthony Towns. 6th Man of the Year, Jamal Crawford. Most Improved Player, CJ McCollum. Coach of the Year, Steve Kerr. Now, I want to talk about this one because the Warriors went like 25-2 with Luke Walton as their head coach for all of those games until Steve Kerr came back. Luke Walton led them to a 25-2 record or something along those lines. There's just no way. That's how you know this team was goated. Now, going back to the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors beat Portland in 5 games, and this would be the first time that the Warriors laid the smack on the Trailblazers and Damian Lillard. And then we have Oklahoma City upsetting San Antonio. I remember back in 2016 having multiple arguments with my dad that the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to win the chip this year. And, obviously they didn't. But they were damn good and people have forgot about it. This is also where the greatest power forward of all time, Tim Duncan, retired. But at least he's still in the NBA, mentoring Wemby now. Going back out east, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers straight up sweeping Atlanta, which is probably why people forgot about the Atlanta-Boston series. Then we have Toronto beating Miami in 7 games. I feel like people really don't speak about this series as much as they should, and it's probably because it's overshadowed by other great series within this series playoffs. Finally, in the Western Conference Finals, we had OKC versus Golden State, and you best believe I was cheering for OKC. And when they went up 3-1, a tear really fell down my face. I thought it was 1, but I was wrong. It was the start of the end. Golden State not only had to beat him in that one regular season game where Curry pulls up from 50 feet and Mike Breen goes bang, bang, but they also had to beat him here because Golden State came back down 3-1. We had that Game 6 Clay shit where he dropped like 40 points. Like, I thought the Thunder were gonna win this game.
Didn't Curry drop like 37 in Game 5, bro? Let me double check. Because motherfuckers keep talking about that Game 6 Clay shit. They be forgetting what Steph Curry was doing. Acting like he got carried. No, sir. Wardell was not getting carried. No, sir. Let's see. Game 5. KD at 40. Russ at 30. Oh, okay. He had 31. How the fuck did the Warriors win this game? What? Okay, he had 30. Never mind. I was gassing the chat.
I thought they were gonna win this series, but nope. Golden State beat them, and they move on to the finals.
I just remember this.
Out east wasn't as exciting. We had LeBron tell yet again. I had some faith in my Raptors, but I'm gonna be honest. Even though I'm a big Raptors fan, they're probably my favorite Eastern Conference team. I knew they weren't winning this shit. LeBron really just sunned them yet again. Now moving on to the greatest finals of all time. Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2016 finals versus the Golden State Warriors, man. This series, let's get into it. Now, a lot of people thought this was going to be a really disappointing series when the Warriors came out to a 3-1 lead. The first 2 games of the series, the Warriors won in complete domination. And then game 3, the Cavs won, mind you, by 30. So to decide whether or not this was going to be a competitive series, the Cavs had to take game 4. And they didn't. Curry dominated this fourth quarter where it was tied at one point with 10 minutes to go. And all in all, it forced them down 3-1. And the only silver lining that the Cleveland Cavaliers had at this moment was that Draymond Green was...
Hey, shout out to McBuffin for another gift, and man, I appreciate you. 64 subs away from going to the Hawks game this weekend. Interesting. Appreciate you, man.
Suspended for the next game,
Layla Prince getting hold,
which the Cavs took complete advantage of and won the next game by almost 20. And then, since they're on a roll, they also took game 6, leading the first ever potential 3-1 comeback. They go into game 7. Game 7, as most of you know, was tied in the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And we have 2 of the most iconic moments in those minutes. Within those last 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you have one of the most tense atmospheres I've ever witnessed. Watching this game in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you just see nothing but misses, and it's just, the atmosphere is so tense because you don't know what the fuck was going to happen in that moment. No one was hitting a shot. You knew the first team to break through with a shot, they were probably going to decide that game. So when Kyrie missed this layup, and Andre Iguodala got on a 2-on-1 fast break with Curry, people thought this was the moment that was going to take the game away. And then LeBron, literally running, there's science behind this video, running 20 miles per hour, faster than Usain Bolt at his peak speed.
Look at Anonymous Gifter gifting Lila Prince a sub. Hey, shout out to the Anonymous Gifter, man. Freak a mink, though. Why won't you show yourself?
Blocks him. After 2 minutes and 30 seconds of nothing but straight bricks from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Tyronn Lue decided he's going to need to talk that shit over with the squad. So he called a timeout and drew up a play. And what better play to draw up than a Kyrie on Curry ISO? Now in this moment, all my respect goes to Curry for playing great defense on Kyrie. But you know what they say, good defense, better shots. He hit this three over Curry, one of the greatest shots ever. Now the rest of the game is a whole lot of nothing besides LeBron hits a free throw and then everyone on the Warriors keeps missing shots. But then
LeBron had this crazy dunk attempt where he was trying to yam on Draymond. It probably would have been the greatest dunk of all time if LeBron actually finished that hole, but he didn't.
As LeBron hits a free throw and then everyone on the Warriors keeps missing shots. But then post-game, we get one of the most iconic moments in sports. LeBron, after going to Miami, winning 2 chips, it feels like he forgot about a city that raised him. Cleveland, Ohio. He went back. He fucked up the first year. All his teammates were injured. He couldn't win it. But right here, he won it. And he only had one thing on his mind that he had to say.
Cleveland!
Yeah!
This is for you!
Goosebumps every time, man.
I guess the feeling just got hurt.